In today's video, we're diving into a topic that can sometimes bring up feelings of guilt or a sense of discomfort, and that topic is giving. Have you ever felt guilty about not giving enough or wondered if your donation even makes a difference? Well, you're not alone. So let's explore what the Bible has to say about giving and how to overcome those feelings of guilt. Hey there, I'm Katie Jones, and I am a certified Christian financial counselor and the founder of the Redeeming Your Finances School. I help believers such as yourself learn how to manage their money in light of the gospel so they can free their money up to pursue their unique callings. Now, giving can be both a beautiful act of love and generosity, but it can also provoke a feeling of stress and guilt for many believers. We might worry that we're not giving enough, or we might feel pressured to give more than we actually can afford. So today we're going to explore 3 key principles from the Bible that can help us overcome this feeling of guilt in giving. We'll discuss the importance of a cheerful heart, the role that trust plays in our giving decisions, and how God cares more about our hearts than the amount that we give. So principle 1 is God loves a cheerful giver. Our first principle comes from 2 Corinthians 9:7, which says, "Each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver." This verse reminds us that God cares more about our motivations. He doesn't want us to give out of sense of obligation or guilt, but out of love and gratitude. The Bible is painted with generosity, and if we're trying to become more Christ-like, it would do us well to imitate His kind of generosity with joy and admiration. So consider the ministry reconciliation that Jesus invites us to, which is mentioned in 2 Corinthians 5:18. And what an honor it is to be a part of the work of Christ here on earth. As a believer, this ministry we have been grafted into should evoke some kind of excitement and in turn should spark us to do something about it financially. So, how are you going to use your money to invest in your calling to spread the love of Jesus? Principle 2 is giving is an act of trust. Proverbs 3:9-10 tells us to honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing. Giving isn't about our financial ability. It's about trusting God to provide. When we give, we are demonstrating our trust in His provision, even when finances are tight and generosity doesn't really seem to fit in with our budget. When we put the kingdom first, God promises to provide. You and I need to be attentive to when God is prompting us to give. And this is why I believe as a Christian, you should be getting financial guidance from other believers because there is no one-size-fits-all approach to money management, especially when it comes to Jesus. One of my favorite examples is a client that I worked with a while ago who earned a large bonus. And he, at the time, was working to start a new business, and he easily could have used this money to help fund this endeavor. But he felt that God was calling him to give this money to his church to help pay for new equipment to be able to live stream their services online. So through our time together, he had learned how to be in communion with God over these kinds of financial decisions, and he knew when God was prompting him to give the money away instead of using it for something else. So take this into account as you decide how much to give, knowing that God will provide for your needs in the midst of it. Principle 3 is to focus on your heart and not the amount that you give. Remember the story of the widow's offering in Mark 12:41-44? Well, Jesus praised this widow for her small gift because she gave all that she had and with a pure and sacrificial heart. God doesn't need your money. What He's after is your heart. Even if your financial situation only allows for a small offering, God values it because it comes from a place of trust and love in Him. When I was researching for this video, I stumbled upon a blog post that I thought did an excellent job of speaking to this topic. The author, Chandler Moore, says, "As we consider our financial giving, there are times when encountering stories like the rich man and Lazarus that can send chills down our spines. Those chills can quickly morph into a strong sensation of guilt. That guilt can then be the root of financial change in our giving for the better. And to a degree, this isn't a bad thing as long as the person who is increasing their giving firmly understands that this will not increase or decrease their chances of being saved. What you do with your money is a reflection of your heart. So, what does your wallet say about yours? Don't compare your giving to others. Give what you can and focus on your heart behind it. And if you're struggling with guilt in giving and want to learn more about how to give joyfully and how to trust God with your finances, I host a monthly workshop on how to create a gospel-centered budget. We'll cover this topic on giving in more depth, so I'd love for you to be there. You can sign up totally for free in the description box below. Now remember, giving is a beautiful act of love and trust in Jesus. By following these principles, we can overcome guilt and ultimately experience the joy of giving freely. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you found this helpful. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more faith and finance content.